Hello dear students, welcome to the social science class with me, your tutor. Today we will be doing a new chapter, chapter 11, continents and oceans. However, in the previous class I couldn't complete the last two topics, that was hydrosphere and biosphere. So I will first finish those hydrosphere and biosphere, and only after that I will continue with the new lesson. But for this lesson, it is like a continuation of the previous chapter because if you remember, I told you about the lithosphere, where in a lithosphere, it consists of the solid part of the earth, right? So these continents comes under that lithosphere, which I've explained yesterday, and these oceans, it comes under hydrosphere, which I'm going to explain right now, okay? So hydrosphere. Now, hydrosphere is the water part of the earth, okay? All the water bodies, it could be an ocean, it could be a sea. So all the water bodies that comes under hydrosphere, all right? Now, continents and oceans, I will be explaining separately. However, let me finish with hydrosphere and atmosphere first. So, yesterday, there were 4 realms of the earth, right? If you remember, the 4 realms were lithosphere, hydrosphere, then there was atmosphere and biosphere. So lithosphere is the solid part of the earth, and under the lithosphere comes all the continents. Then comes the hydrosphere, all the water bodies, which I've also explained to you. And then comes the atmosphere, all the air and the gases of the earth. And the biosphere is the combination of all the 3 realms, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. All right. So in page number 59, under the significance of hydrosphere, it is said that hydrosphere is one of the most important thing for the survival of human beings. Why? Because with the help of water, we can plant the crops. And with the help of water, it is also used as a means of transportation. And it is said that waterways, it is the cheapest means of transportation. And these waterways were the first means of transportation. See, in India, we have Indian Ocean, then the Bay of Bengal, and we have the Arabian Sea. So these were the water sources which the foreigners has used to come and visit India. So it was the first waterways, also the cheapest means of waterways, all right? Then this hydrosphere is also important because it supports the marine life, okay? Marine life are all the aquatic plants and animals, all the animals and all the plants that survive under the sea, right? So those are aquatic animals, all right? And they help in the survival of human beings. So it is important. Next is atmosphere. Now atmosphere, here in atmosphere, it is shown that majority of the air in the earth is nitrogen, okay? So it is 78% of the air in the earth is nitrogen. And this nitrogen is not for human, but this nitrogen is not used for breathing. For breathing, we use oxygen. And oxygen also helps in photosynthesis. That is, the plants take the carbon dioxide and then they convert it into their food. Then later on, they give out the oxygen. With the help of oxygen, human beings, they breathe and it helps in the survival, right? So 21% of the air in the earth is oxygen, and out of this 21%, 78% is nitrogen, and the remaining other percents are argon, then some of them are carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, okay? All this air comes under the atmosphere, all right? Then atmosphere, as I said, is so important because we need air to breathe, right? We need air to breathe, and however these days it is said that the air is getting more polluted because many people are burning the forests. There are harmful smoke and dust which is getting mixed with the air, and then it is becoming harmful for breathing. And then so it is the duty of you and me in order to take care of the air, all right? Then the last one is biosphere. Now, this biosphere, it's a combination of lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, right? Now, all these three realms of the earth, they combine together, help one another, and it gives birth to, it helps in the survival of human beings. That is biosphere, okay, for an environment, not only human beings, but all the living things that comes under biosphere, all right? Now, in page number 60, you will see, under the biosphere, you will see an image where the atmosphere is there, then we have the hydrosphere and the and the lithosphere. So all this helps in all this helps one another in the survival of the living beings, okay? Like, for example, the atmosphere. Atmosphere is the air, right? The human beings depend on the air for breathing. Now, land, that is lithosphere, human beings use this land to plant their crops, right? To make shelter. And then this hydrosphere, that is water, human beings use this water for planting their crops, and also it helps in the transportation, as I've mentioned, right? So all these are correlated and they help in the life cycle, okay? So that's all about these realms of the earth. Now let's come to chapter 11, that is continents and oceans, all right? Now, continents, there are 7 continents, okay? There are 7 continents. We have North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe. We have Atlantic, okay? Sorry, we have Europe, Australia, and we have Antarctica, okay? Atlantic is an ocean, all right? Now, under these 7 continents, the largest continent is Asia, all right? And then based on the size, okay? Based on the size, the largest continent is Asia and the smallest continent is Australia, all right? Then based on the size, the second largest would be Africa, then followed by North America and South America. It goes on, okay? So there are 7 continents, and those are Asia is the largest and Australia is the smallest. Now when it comes to oceans, okay, earlier there were only 4 major oceans, all right? However, the 5th ocean has been added, and that is Antarctic Ocean, all right? Now, under these 5 oceans, we have Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Antarctic Ocean, okay? The Antarctic Ocean is also known as the southernmost ocean. Why? Because the location is towards the most bottom part of all the oceans, all right? So it is also known as the Southern Ocean, all right? Now let's come to the first one, that is the 7 continents. I'll start with Asia, all right? Now, Asia is known as the largest continent, and why large? Because of it is very large in size, all right? And all the populated countries like China, then we have India, these countries are in the Asian continent, all right? And then, so for that you will have to turn to page number 62, okay? And Asia is known as the cradle of human civilization. Why? Because it is believed that most of the major religions like Hinduism, we have Sikhism and Buddhism, all these have been originated. It started from Asia, all right? So it is known as the cradle of human civilization, all right? Then the other major countries of Asia are, we have Pakistan, we have Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, then Korea, Japan, all this comes under Asia, okay? So when we say continents, then don't get confused, okay? There are 7 continents. Under these 7 continents, there are so many countries there, okay? So all together, there are more than 70 countries, all right? So first, I'm explaining to you about Asia, okay? Don't get confused. So we are still under Asia. So under this Asia, there are special features, okay? The physical features. So in Asia, you will find features like mountains, there are plateaus, there are plains, and there are also certain rivers, okay. Under the mountains, we have the great Himalayas, right? If you remember the Himalayas, which I've also explained in the earlier chapter. And then we also have the central mountain belt. Then we have the great river valleys, okay, and the Ganga Brahmaputra valleys. And then we have plateaus like the Pamir plateaus, Iran, and the Anatolia, all right? So all these are the famous and the well-known plateaus of Asia. Then coming to the Great River Valley, we have the Ganga Brahmaputra, we have the Irrawaddy and the Wangho of China. All these are the famous and the well-known river valleys of Asia, okay? And then in Asia, we have mountains, and even the soil is very fertile in Asia. That's why the population is also more, and the plantation of crops is very very much possible, okay, because of the soil, because of the alluvial soil, because of different types of soil available in Asia that makes it very much successful in cultivation as well, all right? So Asia, we have more population, even the size is large, and there are so many countries in Asia, all right? Then the next one is Africa, okay? Africa is the second largest country of Asian continent, all right? Now, if you want to have a glimpse of Africa and its special features, you can turn to page number 67. Okay, coming to the physical features. Now, in Africa, we have the Great Sahara Desert. I'm sure many of you have heard about the Sahara Desert in other chapters also, right? We have the Great Sahara Desert, and there are lakes and rivers also. Some of these well-known places are the Mount Kilimanjaro, okay? That is a famous mountain in Africa. Then we also have the Great Rift Valley, the Red Sea and the Dead Sea, okay? All these are located in African continent, okay? And there is also a river called the Nile River, all right? So this Nile River is also located in Africa, and all these special features of Africa makes it unique, okay? Of course, there are also certain desert areas in other continents as well. However, in Africa, the Sahara is one of the largest, and it is there in African continent, all right? Then coming to the third one, that is the third largest continent of the world, and that is North America, okay? Now in North America, not much about the physical features. However, one of the well-known mountains of North America is the Andes, okay? The Andes of North America and the Rocky Mountains of South America are the well-known mountains of the world, right? Then coming to Antarctica, all right? Now, Antarctica is considered as a place which is not very suitable for human survival, all right? And then Antarctica is also known as a white continent, okay? Why? Because in Antarctica, it is mostly covered with snow and ice. I've mentioned this part even in the previous chapter, right? And then because of the thickness of ice and snow in that area, it becomes very difficult for the plantation of crops, and most of the time the water sources are frozen, right? So it becomes very difficult for human survival. However, there is a story, okay? In page number 74, there is a story about the discovery of Antarctica, and it took place in 1820, okay? So in 1820, there was an explorer. He traveled to Antarctica and he discovered the place there. And later on, many other countries also came and they started setting up their stations, okay? So in these stations, they have assigned some certain scientists and engineers who gave all the reports, the weather reports to their own countries, all right? Even India also, okay? Even India also, they started setting up their station there, and the name of the station was Dakshin Gangotri, okay? So this Dakshin Gangotri, there were 21 members there, and they were all from fields of science and art, okay? And these people, they stayed there, and they used to give all the reports to India about the weather, about the all the climatic conditions, okay? So later on, some other countries also joined, and it is still going on. Okay, more and more stations are being built up there. Okay, so here in Antarctica, as I said, it is mostly covered with ice and snow. However, there are also other physical features like mountains are there, lakes are there. Okay, and some of these lakes also have a running water during the summer season, but most of the time these rivers are also covered with ice and snow. Okay, then the Europe. Okay, so coming to Europe, that is the 6th largest continent of the world. All right, so under Europe we have physical features like the Northwestern Highlands, we have the North European Plains, we also have the Central Uplands and the Alpine system. Okay, so all these have different features. Okay, some of them are in the form of mountains, some are in the form of plateaus, and some are in the form of plains. If you're still confused with mountains, plateaus, and plains, I have explained in the previous lesson. You can go back and you can have a look at this, and you will learn, okay, the difference between mountains, plateaus, and plains. Okay, mountains are usually quite high from the sea level. So why we take the sea level? Sea level is the measurement of the height and the depth of the earth. Okay, and the highest point of the earth is Mount Everest, that is 8,848 meter, and the lowest point of the earth is Mariana Trench, and it is in Pacific Ocean. Okay, however, I'll come to the ocean later on. Then coming back to Europe, in Europe we also have the uplands, okay, and we also have the highlands. Then coming to the Alpine system under the Europe continent, we have the mountain peak in Europe, which is the Mount Elbrus, and it is the highest mountain peak of Europe, okay, and its feet is 5,633 meters. And then now the 7th largest continent of the world, that is Australia. All right, when you look at the map, okay, when you look at the map, if you want to have a close look at these 7 continents, you can also go back to chapter 10, where you will see that Australia is surrounded by the oceans. Okay, the water bodies have surrounded Australia. That's why from the space it looks like an island. Okay, islands usually are surrounded by water bodies, right? That's why even Australia also, it is like an island. Okay, now here in Australia, the population is quite less, all right, and then the population is quite less comparing to the other continents, and we also have the physical features like the Eastern Highlands, the Central Highlands, and there are also mountains as well. Okay, now that's all about the 7 continents. Now let's go to the 5 oceans. So here in 5 oceans, as I say, the 4 major oceans were Pacific, Indian, Arctic, and Atlantic. However, the 5th one was added, and that is Antarctic. Okay, and out of these 5 oceans, the Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean, and even the deepest point of the earth, that is the Mariana Trench, is here in this ocean. Okay, the Pacific Ocean. All right, so that's all about this chapter, the continents and oceans. And here in this chapter, you will have the world map. So if you go through this world map, you will be able to locate these continents and oceans which I've mentioned just now. All right. Thank you so much, and see you soon with a new topic.